If you want to see how broken and cruel the global system is right now, and capitalism and property rights, if you want to see how bad this gets when it's taken to its logical conclusion, look no further than this story coming out of Common Dreams. Italians found a way to 3D print a key ventilator piece for $1 to help battle the coronavirus. So the company with the patent is threatening to sue. There were people whose lives were in danger, and we acted, period. That's a, quote from one of the people who did this, who took this action. So this was, quote, even as the printed valves saved at least 10 people's lives in a hospital in the northern Italian city of Brescia. So even as this valve that they 3D printed was saving lives, the company was like, no, you can't do that. Stop it. And they say, oh, we charge $11,000 per piece for the device. And we refuse to share the technical specifications of it to produce the valve, and it's a lawsuit for patent infringement. In the middle of a pandemic where people are dying, and these masks need this key component, and the company, by the way, the reason they did it, the company wasn't responsive, or they took a long time to respond, and they're like, hey, dog, we got a pandemic over here. So they took a shot in the dark with the 3D printer to try to get the specifications right. And they say they did get it, but apparently they're afraid to wash it because of the material it's made with the 3D printer. And they have 3 different versions of the piece that they're kind of doing trial and error with to see which one works better. So they're still ironing it out, but they're doing it because of a pandemic. They have to do it. And the company's like, no, we're going to sue you. If they didn't do it, people would have died, bro. People would have died. They need this. The company doesn't care because the company is only concerned with their own profits, their bottom line. And listen, I mean, the takeaway from this is very simple. There are certain things that do not belong in the capitalist system. There are certain things where the profit margin should not exist, and I would go as far as to say it's immoral and unethical for the profit margin to exist on certain fronts. And I find it hard to believe that anybody would disagree on this one, because this is as evil, cruel, wrong, bad as it gets. And even some hardcore right-wingers out there could see how negative this is, how terrible this is, and the impact it would have had. I think it's time we start changing how we do stuff, guys. I really do. I really do. Not only should we have, Medicare for all, single-payer system, but I also think almost everything surrounding health should be nationalized. Like Big Pharma and all their medications. I don't see a good argument against nationalizing that, especially because a lot of the drugs that Big Pharma profits off of, the research and development is done in universities, public institutions. So I don't see a good argument to allow that to continue to be private. Whether it's Big Pharma or medical devices or a Medicare for all system, like everything involving health, it just strikes me as too important to be in the capitalist system. And that's not me saying everything should be out of the capitalist system, because you guys know I don't believe that. You guys know I think that in some instances, competition breeds better outcomes, lower prices, consumer goods, video games, cars, fill in the blank. Like that, I get it for that front. But anything involving health, I think you're out of your mind if you think that, the profit margin or the profit motive handles these issues well. It doesn't. If you have the profit motive involved in anything regarding health, the incentive structure is too perverse. And this is a clear example of it here.